Hello everyone, I am Soumitra Kumar, PGT Geography from KV Tanga Valley. Today I am here with a new video lesson for you that is based on distribution of oceans and continents. It has been an important question that how the continents or oceans were formed, how they came into their present situation. Various theories are there to solve this problem. It was Abraham Ortelius who proposed a possibility that continents were joined together in their geological past. But he was Antonio Pellegrini who drew a map showing the three southern continents joined together. He is a Dutch map maker. The continental drift theory. Alfred Wegener, a German meteorologist, introduced a new theory in 1912 to explain the distribution of continents and ocean. According to him, all the continents were joined together to form a supercontinent and surrounded by a mega ocean. The supercontinent was named as Pangaea, which means all the earth. The mega ocean was named as Panthalassa, means all the water. This picture reflects that how the Pangaea and Panthalassa looked around 335 million years ago from now. In second picture, you can see the different continents joined together forming the Pangaea. Wegener suggested that about 200 million years ago, Pangaea began to split. Firstly, it broke into two large parts, Laurasia, the northern part, Gondwana land, the southern part. Subsequently, Laurasia and Gondwana land continued to break into smaller pieces or continents that exist today. After breaking of Pangaea, Panthalassa water got filled up in between the large land masses and called as the Tethys Sea. In this picture, you can see the journey from Pangaea to the continents that we see today. This is another picture that shows the breaking of Pangaea into continents. The first picture is 200 million years ago from now that shows two large land masses of Pangaea. The second picture is 130 million years ago from now. The third one is 70 million years ago from now. And the fourth picture is the condition of continents that we see today. Now, the evidences to support continental drift. There are 5 evidences. The first one, matching of continents. The second one, rocks of same age across the oceans. The third one, Telite. The fourth one, placer deposits. The fifth, the distribution of fossils. The matching of the continents. The shorelines of Africa and South America facing each other and other continents have a remarkable and unmistakable match. It may be noted that a map produced using a computer program to find the best fit of the Atlantic margin was presented by Bullard in 1964. In this picture, you can see the remarkable fit or jigsaw fit of Africa and South America and India, Australia and Antarctica. This picture shows the jigsaw fit of all the land masses of ancient Gondwana land. This is another picture to show the major land masses of Laurasia and Gondwana land in which you can see the gap in ivory color and the overlap of continents in maroon color. Now the next evidence, that is rocks of same age across the oceans. The belt of ancient rocks of 2000 million years from Brazil coast matches with the rocks of Western Africa. The earliest marine deposits along the coastline of South America and Africa are of the Jurassic Age. That means the Atlantic Ocean did not exist prior to that time, and both of the continents, that are South America and Africa, were joined together. Now the Telite. Telite is the sedimentary rock formed out of fine glacial deposits, and it is found in all the counterparts of the Gondwana land. For example, Africa, Falkland, India, Madagascar, Antarctica, and Australia. It shows that these continents were joined together in their geological past. Now the placer deposits. Placer deposits of gold or gold placer deposits are found along Ghana coast of Africa, but the gold bearing rocks are not found there. Similarly, the gold bearing veins are in Brazil, and it is obvious that the gold deposits of the Ghana are derived from the Brazil when the two continents lay side by side. That means Ghana has gold deposits but no gold bearing rocks, and Brazil has gold bearing rocks but no gold deposits. Now, the last one, the distribution of fossils. It's an amazing fact that same kind of animal and plant fossils are found in different continents across the marine barriers. For example, fossils of various reptiles, animals, and plants are found in India, Australia, Madagascar, and Africa. It reveals that these land masses were joined together in the past. This picture shows the common fossils across the oceans. For example, fossil of Cynognathus, a reptile, is found in Africa and South America. Fossils of the Lystrosaurus, a reptile of Triassic age, is found in Antarctica, India, and Africa. Fossils of the Glyceptosaurus, a plant, are found in Antarctica, Australia, Africa, India, and South America. The fossil remains of Mesosaurus, a freshwater reptile, are found in both the continents Africa and South America. Now the forces for drifting. Wagner suggested two kinds of forces, that is, pole fleeing force and the tidal force. The polar fleeing force relates to the rotation of the Earth. Earth is not a perfect sphere, it has a bulge at the equator. This bulge is due to the rotation of the Earth. The tidal force. It is due to the attraction of the moon and the sun that develops tides in oceanic waters. Later on, scientists found these forces to be insufficient for drifting in further studies, and the theory was discarded. Now the convection current theory. Arthur Holmes in 1930 introduced about convection currents originating due to thermal differences in the mantle. According to him, there is a complete system of such convection currents in mantle portion. It was an attempt to solve the problem of forces for drifting. Later on, the convection currents has been considered as the forces for the tectonic movement of the plates. How convection works. Magma in the mantle is heated by the core, so it rises towards the crust. After it rises, the magma nears the crust. That means magma reaches near to the crust and begins to cool. After that, it starts to sink below. As hot magma rises, then it cools. The cool magma then sinks towards the core, where it gets reheated. Hot magma rises again, creating continuous movement called a convection current or cycle of moving magma in the mantle. In this picture, you can see the sequence of originating the convection cell. Hot magma rises up and it cools and sinks down. After that, it gets reheated and moves upward. This process follows in a cyclic manner to form convection cells. In this picture, you can see the system of convection currents and convection cells. When convection currents move in opposite direction of each other, magma erupts and ridges are formed. When convection currents move in the direction of each other, then one slab or landmass subducts into the mantle through the trenches. Now, the plate tectonics. It was in 1967 Mackenzie and Parker and also Morgan independently collected the available ideas and introduced a new theory, that is plate tectonics. Tuzo Wilson was the first to use the term plate. A tectonic plate, also called as lithospheric plate, is a massive, irregularly shaped slab of solid rock having rigid boundaries. Plates move horizontally over the asthenosphere as rigid units. A plate may be referred to as the continental plate or oceanic plate depending on which of the two occupy a larger portion of the plate. Thickness or depth of lithosphere ranges from 5 to 100 km or up to 200 kilometers in the continents. There are 7 major and 20 minor plates. Now the major plates. 1. The Antarctica and the surrounding oceanic plate. Second, the North American with Western Atlantic floor separated from South American plate along the Caribbean island. Third, the South American with Western Atlantic floor separated from the North American plate along the Caribbean plate. Fourth one, the Pacific plate. The fifth, India, Australia and New Zealand plate. The sixth, Africa with the Eastern Atlantic floor plate. Seventh, the Eurasia and the adjacent oceanic plate. In this picture, you can see the major and important minor plates like North American plate, South American plate, African plate, Pacific plate, Antarctica plate, and some minor plates like Caribbean plate, the Philippine plate, the Nazca plate, and the Cocos plate. This picture depicts the direction of plate movements. Now the plate boundaries. There are 3 types of plate boundaries: the convergent plate boundaries, the divergent plate boundaries, and the transform plate boundaries. In this picture, you can see all the 3 plate boundaries. The convergent plate boundaries where mountains are formed. The divergent plate boundaries where new ocean floor is formed, and the transform boundaries where strike slip takes place. Convergent boundaries are the boundaries where two plates converge or collide. When plates are pushed together in the same direction, then that is convergent boundaries. Here, the sea floor is destroyed and the rigid plate subducts into the mantle and the fold mountains originates. Continental to continental plate boundaries. When the plates crash head on, the collision squeezes the crust into might mountain ranges. The Eurasian plate and the Indian plate and their collision and the upliftment of Himalayas is an example of continental to continental collision or conversion. The divergent boundaries. When two plates move in opposite direction, then magma erupts and this is the place of divergent boundaries. That means the boundary where two plates diverge or go away from each other. Divergent boundaries are found along the mid-oceanic ridge in the mid of all the oceans. The sites where the plates move away from each other are called spreading sites. The best known example of divergent boundaries is the Mid-Atlantic Ocean Ridge. This picture shows the Mid-Atlantic Ocean Ridge. You can see how it spreads across the Atlantic Ocean from north to south direction in between the Africa and South America continents. The transform boundaries, where the crust is neither produced nor destroyed as the plates slide horizontally past each other, is the transform boundary. Transform faults or boundaries are the places or planes of separation, generally perpendicular to the mid-oceanic ridges. In this picture, you can see how plates may slide along the transform faults or boundaries. Now, the rates of plate movements. The rate or speed of plate movement vary considerably. The Arctic ridge has the slowest rate, which is less than 2.5 centimeter per year, and the East Pacific rise near Easter Island in the South Pacific, about 3,400 kilometers west of Chile, has the fastest rate of movement, which is more than 15 centimeters per year. Now, the movement of the Indian plate. India was a large island situated off the Australian coast in a vast ocean. The Tethys Sea separated it from the Asian continent till about 225 million years ago. India is supposed to have started her northward journey about 200 million years ago, at the time when Pangaea broke. India collided with Asia about 40 to 50 million years ago, causing rapid uplift of the Himalayas. In this picture, you can see the northward movement and the collision of India with Eurasian plate. In this picture, again you can see the northward movement of Indian peninsula and also that about 50 to 60 million years ago, the Indian landmass crossed the equator during its northward journey. This picture is of about 20 million years ago when Indian peninsula collided with Eurasian plate and the upliftment of the Himalayas began. The scientists and geologists consider that the plate movements will result into the formation of Pangaea II. Now I would like to conclude this topic. If you have any doubts, then ask in comment section or on my personal number. Thanks for watching. Thank you everyone.